Hi, and welcome to Lynes on Design. I'm Dr. Debbie Lynes. We have a great show for you today. We're talking to experts about being professional and why it's so important to hire an expert. You know, whether it's health and wellness or design, you want to get the best bang for your buck. And by hiring an expert, you can avoid a lot of problems. We thought it might be fun today on this segment to talk to John Iannazzo from Liberty. We're going to be talking about common problems that consumers always have when with their drapes and their shades and window blinds, and ways to fix those.
You know, one of the questions that we get a lot is, can I install myself?
Okay.
And sure. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's not that hard to install blinds and shades. Practice does make perfect, and we see a lot of mistakes when people have, you know, other people put them in, or the painters take them down to paint and put them back up.
Exactly.
So we see a lot of little things that could have been easily avoided.
Can you show us some examples of what that would actually look like?
The biggest thing we see are the wrong kind of screws.
Okay. Oh.
So we see that a lot.
Okay.
Where they use the wrong kind of screw. In fact, I took one of these out yesterday of a wood blind. This is a decking screw. I don't know why they would use a decking screw.
Okay.
But you do not need all of that to install a blind, and it cracks the wood and eventually wiggles loose and messes everything up. It should look more like that.
Okay.
And what we use are, for most applications, self-tapping screws.
What are they called?
They're called self-tapping screws.
Okay,
So
self-tapping.
If you look at the end, there's a little drill bit there, so it actually drills its own
I do.
hole as it's going in, so it doesn't split the wood.
Okay.
So that would be the first thing I would suggest, is use those kind of screws.
And that makes a lot of sense to
But
me.
yeah, otherwise you end up with that, and then eventually that wiggles loose.
But look
and
at
you
the
have all kinds of
split
problems.
in it. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we get questions all the time whenever you're on. We get questions about safety and cords and power and all of that. One viewer actually wrote in talking to me about cords and safety, and if a cord snaps, is that a difficult fix? Is that a hard fix? Or what do you do?
It's a pretty easy fix, and the child safety feature is actually what causes that. So here we have a silhouette window shading with a continuous cord loop, and on every continuous cord loop you will find a tensioner device.
Well, I've got to go back and talk to you a minute about what's a continuous cord loop.
Continuous cord loop is...
Oh, continuous cord
There you
loop.
go.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, all right.
What happens here is when this is put on, if this is not put on, I don't know if you can see in there, there's little teeth that will grip the cord.
Okay, look at this. There are little teeth in here that grip it.
So that will not let the cord pull all the way through. So if you do not attach this down, you can't operate your shade because it catches and won't pull through.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
And what happens if that's put on improperly? If that's on too tight, it causes a lot of tension on the cord. If it's put on too loose, those little teeth actually wear away at the cord, and you end up with
a frayed cord, which I have seen before.
a frayed cord. That's our most common repair, with a cord frays, because this little piece was not put on at the right place.
Now, if there is something like a frayed cord, do you have options? What do we do?
Put a new cord on.
Oh.
Which we are ready to do right now if you want to see how that's done.
I do. I kind of want to see how that's done. First of all, I want to ask about this. Are these on all of your blinds?
Every single corded blind, corded blind with a loop, with an easy rise cord loop, has one of those on it. We cannot install one without, because it creates a child hazard, you know, a hanging hazard, if that's not fastened down.
Okay, so what are we doing?
There we go.
That was cool.
Well, we took the clutch off.
Okay.
You can see it's pretty simple. The cord just feeds through, and all we need to do is pull off the old cord.
All right.
And
Here,
we don't
I'll take
need that.
I'll be your Vanna. How long should a cord last, theoretically?
The cords have a 7-year warranty.
Okay. Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is pretty long if you think about a cord.
Why Hunter Douglas? They use a special kind of material, or
It's
just
a woven nylon cord, so it's pretty strong. They just make an excellent cord. I'll show you another cord on the Ultra Glide gear that's even stronger than these.
What is this we're looking at?
That's a silhouette.
Okay, a silhouette. And a silhouette is a nice option for down here because...
Well, it gives you the light and the privacy, but you can control the light and privacy. So when it's up, it's inside its own header, so you have the whole window open. When it's down, you have all the light and privacy you need.
Which makes a lot of sense to me.
Okay, so we put the new cord on. All we did was feed it through.
Okay.
New cord's on. It's done. All you do is line up all the little tabs.
Okay.
in here.
Can I ask you a question as you're doing this? And that's
Yes.
really about buying a $100 product or again, you doing what you're doing right now versus running to a big box store or somewhere else to buy maybe a shade that's $20 less expensive. Advantages, disadvantages. I guess advantages are really what I'm looking at. Why?
We know what we're doing.
Okay.
There you go. New cord. So if you have a broken cord, it takes, what was that, 45 seconds to put a new one on?
Exactly.
And it's done.
Oh
and
my
then,
gosh, look at that.
Yep.
How have cords changed since you started in business?
Well, one of the biggest changes we see are we've gone from a traditional corded blind, when you raise the blind, the cord gets longer,
look,
and you have all that
exactly.
hanging down, to the retractable cords,
Okay.
where no matter where you pull the cord, it retracts
Oh.
up nice and short each time.
You know, speaking of retractable cords, I think I told you this too. One of the people I was talking to had a problem with one of the pieces on the retractable cord. Is that a common problem, or
Well,
what does that look
people
like?
get concerned that this cord, this is the inner
let's
cord
see.
that retracts, will
Okay.
break because it's pretty thin. It's a woven nylon. They tell me almost a Kevlar type material.
Wow,
It is
okay.
extremely strong. This cord is not going to break.
Okay.
Okay, what happens is when people pull the shade and then let that go and let this plastic piece hit the metal every day for a year, eventually that will
This
crack.
is the little piece then that's going to be the problem area.
It's that, exactly. So if you let that go up slowly each time, if you don't let it just smack
Okay.
into it, it's going to last forever.
From a consumer point of view, are we pretty good about asking you and learning about how to best take care of our blinds?
No, not even close. We go over how to use the
right,
shade.
true.
It is the absolute
Wow.
truth. We go over, we show it in the showroom, explain how to operate it, why it's good for this application, why something's better for a different application, and then we go and install it, and we go over again how to use it, how to operate it.
Are we intimidated by them?
I don't know. I don't know what the story is.
deal is.
But we had one customer recently. We put the shade up, showed her how to use it. Everything was good. Left the shade down because the sun was coming in. By the
Right.
time we got back to the showroom, she called because something wasn't working. She pulled her cord one time, and then called because it wouldn't go all the way up.
Oh, but
So-
yeah, and you know what though? I do get that because as many times as I've done it, sometimes I will just be in a hurry and struggle with.
And everybody's got stuff going on, so they're not, there's 10 things going on at a time. We're installing the blinds, and then we show you how to use them, but then the plumbers and electricians there and the painters are there. So I do understand that there's a lot going on.
You know, I was looking. I'm sorry. This is like a non sequitur kind of thing, but I was looking at all of these goodies that you have all around. What am I looking at here in this box of treats?
These are various fasteners for drywall. When we can't hit wood, when there's no header above the window,
Okay.
we have different applications for different types of plaster, for drywall. For something real lightweight, we can use the mollies as opposed to the toggles. So that way we can install things where there is no wood to install to.
Ah,
And
so
using the right kind of fastener makes all the difference. Occasionally we'll see something put up with these little ones that come
Okay.
with, you'll see these like if you buy a shelf, at Walmart.
exactly.
These never, ever use these.
Do not use
no,
these.
Those will come right out.
Again, part of the point of us doing this is really to show you that asking an expert is critical. And frankly, don't you think it will save you money? You and I
In the
went
long
through
run,
this. Oh, not even in the long run. I think in the short run. And also, when you get to really to talk to professional people, they really know how to save you time and money. I know we've only got about a minute left, but I really want to talk about motorized things. And you and I talked about, we're going to do a whole show on this because the viewers that I've talked to are scared to death of the motors.
Some people, yeah, they're really concerned.
Why and how do we tell them it's fine?
Come into the showroom and see if we have over a dozen displays in the showroom that we can show you exactly how they work, how they operate. We can take them apart and show you what's on the inside.
Okay.
So you can see that they're actually quite simple.
So you don't worry about those at all?
Not at all.
Are you doing electrical motors, battery operated?
Everything we do right now is battery operated or plugged into a standard outlet.
Okay.
We don't get into the hardwired just yet because it's really a whole nother field with home automation.
Okay, and which makes a lot of sense to me. Any other quick repairs that you want to show us?
No, I think that's pretty much it. That is our most common repair.
I love it. And again, as always, it's a treat to have you here. Stay with us here. Stay here with us, please, on Lynes on Design. Next, we're going to go to a patio shop, and we're going to talk about choosing outdoor furniture and how asking an expert can actually save you a lot of time and money. We'll be right back. John and I were just talking about why we do a show like this. It's not the most beautiful location in the whole wide world, but there's a lot more to being professional, taking a product, making sure it's the right product for the right fit, than just looking at glamorous things. We really want you all to know the nuts and bolts of why you're doing what you're doing. And I think that's kind of what sets us apart, is we want you to know that there is more when you come into the store than just a showroom.
Yeah.
There's an actual working area where, I mean, to come in here one day is really actually a lot of fun, because I've seen things I've never seen before. And it makes you realize how important it is that the person that you're entrusting in your home knows what they're talking about. I think it's critical. Thank you, John.
Thank you.